G'day, and everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today, strangely enough, we'll be talking about the spiritual state of the world and what's the news in our ascension, what's going on in the spirit planes. We've been fighting this war for, well, intensely since the beginning of 2020, and it looks like we've won. So I'll just explain what's been going on in more specific terms. Just in case you wanted to know, I am running a course and it starts on Wednesday, September the 17th of August. The point of this course is to train people to the tippity top of psychic capacity so that you become a healer, you can deal with your trauma and your affirmations. Then we work on regional work around where you are, and then we start working into global energetic alignments. And I want to train people at that level. So because if planet Earth needs that, because if we don't take control of our own energetic field, if we don't take control of the energetic field of this planet, some other bunch of galactic punks, be they reptilian, mantid, or otherwise, will show up and do it for us. So what I'm trying to form and what I'm having a lot of success with is a group of people who are going into the following decades and the future of humanity can manage that energetic field for the benefit of Gaia and humanity as a whole. So get in touch if you want to be involved in that. It starts on Wednesday, the 17th of August. So the first important piece of information is that Gaia is in full ascension mode. She is growing and expanding and uplifting. She is enriching on a daily basis. She is becoming more than she ever was before. The light codes coming from central sun to our sun, and then the sun, if you've been watching the sun, has been acting a bit differently. Since they've been studying the sun, they call it solar cycle 23 and 24. So since they've been studying the sun, it does the same thing 22 times, but recently it's been going haywire. And what's happening? The light from our sun is coming to Earth, and Earth is growing from it. Now, remember that in optic fibers, we have optic fibers everywhere. This thing that we're doing right now uses optic fibers, and light carries information. And what's happening is Gaia is downloading new information and new codes on how to be 5D. And she's having a great time with it too. Yeah, she looks like she's just had a week of massage and spas and pampering, and at the same time, like she's just had a series of 15 multiple orgasms all in a row, and she just looks that good. She glows that much. So that's where Gaia's at the moment. I did also have some news about our old buddies, the Reptilians. See, because Astral Travel Gang, it's been flying around and it bumps into the odd reptilian. And if you watched, hang on, I've got to get the side right. I hope it's this side. If you watch this video here, then you would have seen that we went through a discussion with the reptilian king. And he was, and in which he laid down his sword. And the reptilians began to fold themselves back into the milieu of the universe, to be good guys again, to go through a transformation. However, we keep bumping into the odd reptilian flying around. They don't last long when we meet them, but they're still around. So we went back to Galactic Federation Line and said, well, this was the deal that we made with the King of the Reptilians, where he would lay down his sword and go through, and all of his boys would go through a re-education program. Why are we still bumping into them? And the story is this: about 30% of the reptilians didn't want to go through the re-education program. And so they're hanging around, still being a pain and making mess and causing trouble the way that they always do. What was kind of bemusing to us is that the reptilian king, he's actually in hiding, and he's in some kind of witness protection program from his own men, because they didn't seem to think very highly of the reptilians laying down the sword. And what those guys never got, it's the only way that the reptilians were ever going to survive it. You know, they were losing, but the ones that wanted the rebels that want to keep fighting, They don't get that the game's up. In other good news, I don't know if you watched this video. I hope this is the right side when I point at this one. I hope it's not this one. But if you watch this video, then what you're seeing is the hard fork of all timelines on Earth. Now, Mother Earth is this area is a free will zone, and everybody gets what everybody wants, whether they like it or not. You know, their spiritual desire, their karma, whatever it is, can manifest some ugly things. Now, we're at a point now where there are two very, very different kinds of manifestation. One is the technocratic control planet, and the other one's the free Earth and Renaissance planet. And these two are completely incompatible. These two are there is no way that half the Earth can be in a technocratic control state and the other half in a freedom state. It doesn't work like that. And so it cannot be manifested that everybody gets their manifestation. And it's quite a complex calculation for everybody to get to co-create that reality. So instead, the Earth is going to split. And so the people who want to go to the technocratic control state, they go this way. And the other ones who want to go to the Renaissance Earth, go this way. And to do that, Gaia is splitting. When that splitting occurred, when the final day occurred, like we flew up to visit Gaia and then the Sun and then the Galactic Federation of Light and said, so what missions have you got? What's the biggest trouble today? And normally that's just all we need, and we fly out there and sort it out. However, like there seemed to have been a truce for about a week, but maybe 10 days, where everybody was so stunned that the split was actually occurring, you know, and we can be surprised, and we shouldn't be surprised at the same time. After the rogue reptilians split from their brothers who want to go into the ascension process, they then went and made bodgy contracts with 4 other nefarious groups around the galaxy. Now, the split has made it clear to them that the fighting is pointless. There is nothing to win. There is no prize. But I said the truce only lasted 10 days because of the chimera. For those of you who are not familiar with the chimera, the chimera are the spirits who are 2 or more animals smushed together. So you'll have, one of their well-known deities is Garuda from Indonesia. He's part hawk, part lion, part whatever, but he's a chimera spirit, and he's unveiled his way into being the primary deity for Indonesia. Don't know how that happened, but these guys are pretty nasty, and they pop up all over the place. And they were the ones who were fighting hardest over the last few years, and they're so bloody minded they cannot conceive of losing planet Earth, of giving up planet Earth. It's just something that does not compute. So they're still fighting, even though there's nothing to win. And so these missions go on, but planet Earth will be just fine. So if you're watching this anyway, you're probably going to go to the Renaissance Paradise Earth. Won't that be lovely? Of which about 30% of us will go. 30, 32, something like that. For those of you who are wondering, how would you choose the technocratic control state? Well, you just listen to the government. That's what they want. They want increased surveillance to the point of having surveillance built into your hand, as a pay wave thing. It's they want computers tracking us all day and all night, to the point where they develop a computer into our brain and they can read our thoughts. There's nothing pretty about this. But, the more you go along with the narrative, the more you accept their offerings, the more likely you are to go there. I'm sorry to say it. It's an unconscious decision. No, it's not an unconscious decision. It's a conscious decision to accept the lives. And when I talk to people who are accepting those lives, there is some incredible mental gymnastics that these guys have to do to keep accepting that. So you know, that's their choice. And, you know, there's a free will zone, so we just respect it. This is the war report for August 2022. Thank you very much for listening. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, subscribe to my Patreon, or get in touch with me personally if you want to get some work done. I'd love to meet you also, by all means. See you all soon. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.